Friends, now we'll continue from where we had left in the earlier video. In the last video, we got introduced ourselves to the topic image enhancement in the frequency domain. We got introduced to the Fourier transform, its invention, how it evolved, what is being used, what is Fourier transform, and then we saw the main tool that we're going to use, 2D DFT, and sorry, some properties of 2D DFT, multiplying the input image f of xy by minus 1 raised to x plus y, how we center the transform, and if you make the origin, set the origin to 0, f of 0 0, we get the average value, and we also found out that f of 0 0 gives the average value of the particular image. Now, continuing further, filtering in the frequency domain. Fourier domain, frequency domain is nothing more than the space defined by the values of the Fourier transform and its frequency variable uv. So we'll try to attach some meaning to the frequency domain as it relates to the image processing. Now again, if you see the earlier equations, the 2D DFT pair, each term of f of uv contains all the values of f of xy modified by the values of the exponential terms. But here, it is seen that it is usually impossible to make direct associations between the specific components of an image and its transform. However, some general statements can be made about the relationship between the frequency component of the Fourier transform and the spatial characteristics of the image. For example, since frequency is, what do you mean by frequency? It is nothing but rate of change, right? So it is not difficult to associate frequencies in the Fourier transform with patterns of intensity image. So try to understand this. So it is not difficult to associate frequencies in the Fourier transform with patterns of intensity variations in an image. So we saw in the previous section, the slowest varying component, that is u is equal to 0, v is equal to, corresponds to the average gray level of an image. Now as you move away from the origin, low frequencies corresponds to slowly varying components of an image. For example, if you take a room, there might be, and these might correspond to smooth gray level variations on the walls and floors. Now, as you move further away from the origin, the high frequencies begin to correspond to faster and faster gray level changes. Always remember, high frequencies means faster and faster gray level changes. Low frequencies correspond to slow varying components of an image. So these are the edges of the object. So high frequency components correspond to faster gray level changes, and this corresponds to edges of objects and other components of an image which are characterized by abrupt changes in gray levels such as noise. So this is an image of a scanning electron microscope of an IC, because we will be referencing it further, and you can see its Fourier transform. So it's very difficult to make a one-to-one relationship between the Fourier transform and the image characteristics. So that's why some sort of assumption has been made. Low frequencies correspond to slowly varying things, and high frequencies correspond to sudden or abrupt changes in gray levels. Coming out to the basics of filtering in the frequency domain, it is simple and straightforward. It consists of 6 steps. Now let us see the figure first and then come back to the explanation. So you can see here, this block diagram explains the basics of the filtering in the frequency domain. So we have the input image f of xi over here. There are some pre-processing steps like multiplying the input image by minus 1 raised to x plus y, cropping, gray scale toning, and so on. Different operations will be there. You take the Fourier transform of this, we get f of uv. Then we have a filter function h of uv. You multiply this filter function with the Fourier transform f of uv. Take the inverse Fourier transform. Whatever you have done here, you again reverse it over here. For example, you have multiplied it by minus 1 equals y. You reverse it over here, and we get the enhanced image. Okay, we can just see the explanation. First, multiply the input image by minus 1 raised to x plus y to center the transform. Then compute f of uv, the DFT of the image, from 1. Multiply f of uv, the Fourier transform, by filter function h of uv. Compute the DFT of the result in 3, obtain real part in 4, multiply the result by minus 1 raised to x plus y. And here h of uv, it is called a filter transfer function, because what it does is it suppresses certain frequencies in the transform while leaving others unchanged. It is like, common everyday life. If you see, it is like a screen filter which passes certain objects and suppresses others, which is strictly based on their size. So in the equation form, let f of xy be represent the input image and its Fourier transform is given by f of uv. Then the Fourier transform of the output image is given by g of uv is equal to h of uv into f of uv. Now here, multiplication of h and f involves two-dimensional functions and is defined on an element by element basis. That means the first element of h multiplies the first element of f. Second element of h multiplies second element of f, and it goes on. In general, the components of F are complex quantities, but the filters which we are dealing over here are real in nature. In each case, so in this case, H multiplies both the real and imaginary parts of the corresponding Fourier transform f of uv. So such filters are called zero phase shift filters. And as the name implies, these filters do not change the phase of the transform. And the filtered image is obtained simply by taking the inverse Fourier transform g of uv. So tau inverse of g of uv. The final image is obtained by taking the real part of the result and multiplying it by minus 1 raised to x plus y to cancel the multiplication of the input image by this quantity. And some of the pre-processing steps may include gray level slicing, conversion to floating point, and so on. Now, once we have seen the basics of the filtering process, let us look at some filters and their properties. Now, let us look at some basic filters and their properties. So, at this point, we already established that the foundation for filtering in the frequency domain. The next step is to look at some specific filters and see how they affect the images. The earlier discussion of equation 4.222 gives us a perfect lead into an introductory example. Now, suppose we wish to force the average value of an image to 0. Then according to this equation, the average value of an image is given by 0, 0, f of 0, 0. That means if we set this value to 0, we are making the average value of an image to 0, right? So if we set this term to 0 in the frequency domain and take the inverse transform, then the average value of the resulting image will be 0. Assuming that the transform has been centered, we can do this operation by multiplying all values of f of u by this filter function. H of u is equal to 0, 1 if u v is equal to m by 2, n by 2, and 1 otherwise. Now what does this filter do? All this filter would do is to set f of 0, 0 to 0 and leave all other frequencies untouched as desired. So the processed image with 0 average value can be obtained by taking the inverse Fourier transform of h of uv and f of uv. Again here, as mentioned earlier, the real and imaginary parts are multiplied by the filter function. The filter just discussed is called a notch filter because it is a constant function with a hole or notch at the origin. The result of processing the image with this filter is shown in the figure. Let us see the particular figure. I told scanning electron microscope. All right. I just show you the original image. 1 second. So this is the original image. So in this image, if you set f of 0, 0, this is the original image, you take the Fourier transform. Once you get the Fourier transform, f of 0, 0 is the origin. That point, if you set to 0, we are setting the average value to 0, and this is what we get. Note the drop in the average. So note the drop in the overall average gray level resulting from forcing the average value to 0. So normally low frequencies are responsible for the general gray level appearance of an image. Always remember, low frequencies in the Fourier transform are responsible for the general gray level appearance of an image, while high frequencies are responsible for such details such as edges and noise. So, a filter that attenuates high frequencies, attenuates means blocks, while passing low frequencies is called a low pass filter. Similarly, a filter that has the opposite characteristic is called as a high pass filter. So what will low pass filter do? It low pass filter will have less sharp detail than the original because high frequencies have been attenuated. Similarly, high pass filter would have less gray level variation in smooth areas and emphasize gray level detail. So such an image appears sharper. So always remember, low pass filtered image appears smoother, high pass filtered images appear sharper. And let us see at another image. So you can see this is the same image of a scanning electron microscope, a tungsten filament. This is a low pass filtered image. You can see it is smoother, and this is the high pass filtered image, which is much sharper. So in the next class, we'll see the smoothing frequency domain filters.